Hello everyone, as you can imagine, I get a lot of messages and emails in response to my content. Although I really don't highlight them on my videos, I felt that this one I needed to share with everyone. So this person said, and I quote, "Thinking back on the complexities of immigration and how it affects the US, I firmly believe that there are advantages to be gained from carefully relocating new immigrants to less populous parts of our nation. While the influx of immigrants from all origins brings with it difficulties, it also offers tremendous potential for social and economic renewal in areas facing decline or stagnation. Research continuously shows that immigrants are essential to the American economy because they foster entrepreneurship, innovation, and labor force participation. Compared to native-born Americans, immigrants launch firms twice as frequently, filling market shortages and creating jobs. Additionally, they yearly infuse billions of dollars into our economy and make substantial contributions to important businesses. Shifting this inflow to less crowded areas can have a number of advantages. Primarily, it can address demographic issues that rural and small town communities have, like aging populations and shrinking labor forces, by reviving the workforce and encouraging a younger demographic. Second, by encouraging the development of new businesses, reviving main streets, raising consumer demand for goods and services, and enhancing cultural diversity, immigrant settlement in these places can boost local economies. In a third of America's decreasing counties, immigrants play a major role in population growth. They also have a favorable effect on housing markets in underperforming communities. Thirdly, the incorporation of immigrants into these communities promotes rebirth and optimism, strengthening the social fabric through cultural interchange, community service, and civic engagement, and ultimately raising everyone's standard of living. Careful planning and financial commitment to resources such as job training, language instruction, and community building programs are essential for a successful transition and integration. Nonetheless, there could be significant returns on this investment, benefiting both the newcomers and the communities they join. It is our joint duty as leaders dedicated to serving our country and its citizens to investigate and put into place laws that optimize immigration's advantages. We can improve the prospects of these new Americans while reviving the communities that are essential to prosperity of our country by encouraging and facilitating immigrant movement to places that require resuscitation. Let's seize this chance to rethink how we think about immigration and use it to spur development throughout our varied geographies. By working together, we can create a country that is more resilient and united, and that values the contributions and goals of all of its citizens. Now, I know this person is probably watching me right now, and look, a lot of the things here sound beautiful and perfect. And while it's true that immigrants do bring innovation and businesses, look, myself, I'm an immigrant. I've hired native-born Americans, so that's perfect. However, you need to get off fantasy land and come down to earth. You need to see the patterns and the trends that is happening today. The immigration you're talking about was many years ago. Now it's a different ball game. The results you're seeing right now is because the citizens of this country have entrusted its government blindly. Everything you mentioned sounds like something that would happen under a proper vetting system where immigration would check the immigrant's financial status, and if they don't have a solid one, then they would verify the sponsored. Also, they would check criminal background records, which is essential. And guess what? We have that system today. The issue with that is that it is extremely slow and it is not being given priority. Therefore, you have a lot of migrants crossing the border illegally and taking advantage of the asylum seeking process. If these individuals weren't overwhelming the shelter system in America or weren't committing crimes, then we can have a different discussion, but that is not happening today. Obviously, I'm not saying that they are all the same. No, not all are the same, but the trend is there and we need to pay attention. Criminals in Venezuela don't play any games. They just show up and say, hey, give me your watch or your wallet or your phone. Oh, you resist? Boom, see you later. Have a good trip. Or, okay, you're going to give it to me? Fine. Depending on the mood of the criminal, they either let you go or boom, see you later once again. And guess what? I'm going to go have lunch with my friends. And then they can start the next shift in about an hour or so and move on. They don't care. They have no accountability. So we can have that conversation that you brought up once there is a proper vetting system in place. A lot of the liberals that joined my live broadcast, they didn't believe me. They said, Vega, what you're saying is hearsay. Also, you were not raised over there, which is true. I'll give you that. But I do have Venezuelan family that have shared such stories. Also, I've seen many reports from the opposition that have stated the same thing. And now, some years later, I'm seeing that movement here in America. This migrant here is the alleged criminal in the Laken Riley case, a 22-year-old nursing student that was recently murdered. So my friend, and any of you that still have not gotten it, wake up, because it could happen to you. Let's get started. All right, guys, this is a developing story, so let's get into all the details. This is per WSBTV.com. New details regarding the immigration and criminal history of a Venezuelan man accused of killing a 22-year-old nursing student, as well as his brother who was arrested during the investigation, have been released. Jose Ibarra, 26, has been charged with malice murder, felony murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, kidnapping, hindering a 911 call, and concealing in connection to the murder of 22-year-old Laken Riley. Riley, 22, died Thursday after the Athens-Clarke County Police Department said someone attacked and killed her at the intramural fields on the University of Georgia's campus Thursday. And I do want to highlight that the alleged killer is Jose. And I say that because I don't want us to get mixed up between him and his brother, who will also show up on the article. Athens-Clarke Police Chief Jeffrey Clark said Riley died from blunt force trauma. According to court documents obtained by Channel 2 Action News, Jose and his brother Diego lived off Milledge Avenue, less than 2 miles from where Riley's body was found. While searching for Jose Ibarra, after confirming his involvement in the crime, officers spotted a man walking on the street who matched his description. Officials with the U.S. Attorney's Office said that the man was Diego Ibarra, the brother, who presented a green card that officers determined was fake. He was taken into custody following the encounter. After officers located and arrested Jose Ibarra, Chief Clarke said during a press conference Friday that they determined that although he was not a U.S. citizen, investigators were unsure of his immigration status. He added that Jose Ibarra did not know Riley before the attack. Federal agents told Francisco is the reporter here, that they could not confirm when Jose crossed the border into the U.S. Immigration officials added that they also could not verify his immigration status. I mean, look at the mess right now as far as information goes, but we will get to all those details in just a minute. However, New York police confirmed Jose Ibarra, the alleged killer, was there in August 2023 and was arrested after he was caught driving an unregistered, uninsured car with a 5-year-old inside. He was charged with reckless endangerment of a child and acting in a manner injurious to a child. And he still remained in the country. Wow. WABC reported that Jose Ibarra was in New York with his wife and child before leaving for Georgia shortly after he bonded out of jail. According to court documents, immigration officers reported that Diego Ibarra crossed the border into Texas in 2023, where he claimed asylum. In an arrest affidavit, the officer wrote, "Due to a finding of credible fear, Diego Ibarra was released to New York, pending adjudication of his claim for asylum." Authorities said that they believe Diego arrived in Georgia from New York by September 2023 after officers arrested him for the first time and charged him with driving under the influence without a license. Now remember, Diego is the brother of the alleged killer. So we just learned that the brother arrives in Georgia and gets arrested for a DUI, and on top of that, driving without a license. And he still remains in the country. But that is not all. A month later, officials said Diego, again the brother, was arrested again for shoplifting. Court documents said he was then arrested in December for failing to appear for fingerprinting. It's like every paragraph gets worse and worse. In February, University of Georgia officials told Channel 2 Action News he had been working as a campus dishwasher at Bolton Dining Hall, and this is referring to the brother, okay? A spokesperson for the university said Diego Ibarra gave them a fake green card to get the job. But since he never submitted the correct documents to keep his job, he was never paid. So they hired him. It seems that they knew it was a fake green card, but it seems to me that he was still working there. He just wasn't getting paid. I mean, what is going on here? Both brothers are in the Athens-Clarke County Jail with no bond. Well, let's get more details now. This is from the New York Post. The headline says, migrant suspect in Laken Riley murdered crossed border in El Paso before being busted in NYC and released, the wife reveals. So we actually get a statement or a couple of statements from the wife. The illegal immigrant arrested for killing a Georgia nursing student crossed the border in Texas September 8th last year and was sent to a processing facility there, but was quickly released before being put on a bus to New York City, where he was later busted and set free again, his wife told the Post. And here we are getting a little bit of mixed messaging, because in the previous article, supposedly the NYPD confirmed he was there in August. But here the wife is saying that he crossed into Texas on September 8th. unless she's referring to September 8th, 2022, but that is not being stated here. It says last year, so it has to be 2023. And so he was crossing into Texas in September of 2023, but the NYPD is saying he was there in August 2023. Once again, it's like a complete mess of data. Anyway, Jose and his wife, Laken Franco of Venezuela, entered El Paso together with her 5-year-old son, she said. The family was then sent to the Big Apple September 15th, where Ibarra posted smiling, carefree pictures of himself on social media in Times Square and Rockefeller Center. Ibarra, 26, was working for DoorDash, Uber Eats, and a local restaurant when he was arrested in August for endangering the welfare of a child, after he was caught in Queens riding a gas-powered moped with Franco's son on the back without any head protection or restraint for the child, according to police sources. Remember, Franco is the wife. By November 2023, the couple split up. Jose then went to Georgia to live with his brother Diego, whose social media shows once worked at the University of Georgia. Again, it's not clear if the brother was still working there, even though they knew he had the fake green card, or they just let him go and were waiting for him to provide them the documentation. We don't have those details, but it seems that he was working there at some point. And by him, I mean the brother of the alleged killer. The body of Laken Riley, an Augusta University student who once attended UGA, was found Thursday in a forested part of the UGA campus after she had gone for a run. The police down south called the case a crime of opportunity, meaning that it doesn't seem as if Riley and this migrant knew each other before the tragic event. He was a calm person, Franco claimed. We got married so we could join our asylum cases, she told the Post. He was the person I thought I could see through. We've known each other our entire lives. So look what she said here. We got married so we could join our asylum cases. Once again, they make such statements to the press, and they are still in the country. I mean, clearly she's saying right there that the reason they got married was to join their asylum case. Now, whether that asylum case is valid or not remains to be seen, but you guys probably already know what I'm thinking. He wasn't aggressive. None of that, she said. We had problems as a couple, but our problems weren't physical. We wouldn't punch, but we would raise our voices. I want to talk to Jose, she said. I have a lot of faith that this wasn't him, that there was a misunderstanding somewhere. But if he did, he has to pay for what he did truly. Now, this article is from News Nation, and the headline reads, Georgia student killing suspect illegally migrated to U.S., authorities say. And again, I'm only giving you the parts that I believe are the most essential of each article. Police announced that Ibarra is not a U.S. citizen and was not a student at UGA, nor did he know Riley personally. According to multiple DHS sources, he is here illegally from Venezuela. Sources confirmed he crossed in September of 2022 into El Paso, Texas, and was released due to lack of detention space. So he was let go because they are overwhelmed. Well, what a surprise. Ibarra is expected to be charged with malice murder, felony aggravated battery, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, kidnapping, hindering a 911 call, and concealing the death of another. Investigators are currently searching Ibarra's apartment. According to police, he does not have an extensive criminal history in regard to violence, and evidence suggests the killing was a solo act. Now, the question I would like to ask is, you mean he does not have an extensive criminal history here in the United States because he has no proper documentation? Or criminal history in Venezuela? That's what I want to know. We will most likely never get a solid answer on that question. The victim was a student at UGA until last spring, but had transferred to a nursing program at a nearby school, Augusta University. She was a junior and Dean's List student who studied on the school's Athens campus. Finally, I wanted to highlight a section of this article from AOL.com. The headline reads, UGA campus murder. Are there sanctuary cities/counties in Georgia? In the aftermath of September 11th, 2001 attacks, many states, including Georgia, enacted robust anti-immigration legislation. Georgia's initial major anti-immigration bill, which mandated individuals seeking employment or public benefits to prove legal status, was signed into law in 2006. Notably, Georgia officially outlawed sanctuary cities in the state in 2009. Furthermore, a state law was implemented allowing local police to demand proof of citizenship for almost anyone suspected of being undocumented. Over the subsequent years, Georgia introduced legislation that restricted access to driver's licenses, post-secondary education, employment, and more. But here is the kicker. Despite the statewide prohibition, there are so-called sanctuary cities and counties in Georgia, including Atlanta, Clarkston, Decatur, and Athens-Clarke County. According to the USCIS guide, while specific policies vary by city, there is a general recognition of the importance of safeguarding immigrants from deportation and enforcing federal immigration laws. One more time, I need to stress that I am pro-immigrant. I'm an immigrant myself. But when we are seeing a trend like this, things need to be looked at again, and it needs to be halted immediately because one is way too many. If we don't do that, then such individuals will continue to tarnish the idea of immigration, which can be a beautiful thing if it's done correctly. This right here is an Instagram post from the sister of the victim, and it reads as follows: "The best sister and my built-in best friend from the very first second. This isn't fair and I will never understand it, but I know you are in heaven with the man you loved the most right now. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but it's all going to be for you from now on. I cannot wait to give you the biggest hug someday. I will miss and love you forever, Laken." And this video right here was posted on Instagram by her roommate, and I'm going to read what she posted in the caption, and I quote, "Never in a million years did I think I would be writing something like this, and I am still waiting to wake up from this terrible nightmare. Laken Riley, bestest friend, roommate, running partner, mixologist, singer, dancer, and student. 3 years ago, you walked into my life and I never thought you would be taken from me so soon. You never met a stranger and you exuded kindness and acceptance to anyone you met. You put everyone before yourself. You were supposed to cross the finish line with me for our first marathon. You were supposed to stand next to me at my wedding. You were supposed to save many lives." That's because she was studying to be a nurse. "You were supposed to be the aunt to my children. It was not supposed to be like this. I find peace in knowing how strong your faith was in God and how your actions reflected Him in everything you did. You never once failed at putting a smile on my face. I know you were running, eating all the Havarti cheese plus Halo Top cookies, and drinking all the Diet Coke that heaven has to offer. I will miss our runs where we thought we were going to pass out, our lifting sessions at Planet Fitness, our breaking out into song literally anywhere, and our daily strolls to Circle K for a Diet Coke. Our house will never be the same without you. Waking up to you on your iPad, multitasking, watching TV, and doing homework at the kitchen table will always be my favorite sight to have woken up to. I'm not sure how I will continue this life without you by my side, but what I do know is I will run that 26.2 in your honor and let everyone know of the perfect, beautiful, hilarious, smart, kind, and driven human that Laken Riley was. I will forever be proud to have called you my bestest friend and roommate. I love you to the moon and back, and I can't wait to see you when I get up there. We will forever and ever be Lincoln and Caroline. End quote. Unfortunately, it is highly unlikely to see such a take on any mainstream media network. And usually at this part, I would thank you for watching the video and give you options on how you can support my platform. But this time around, I want to mention that the Laken Riley Memorial GoFundMe page is available. And so you would find the link of that in the description of this video. Lastly, I did reach out to various family members of Laken Riley. If you are watching and if you ever feel ready and comfortable to share Laken's story with us, my platforms are completely yours. Guys, please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe so more people can watch these videos. And obviously, let me know what you think in the comment section below.